Hey everyone, welcome back to StuyEats. I'm Ella and I'm here with another baking video for you, and today I am making brown butter toffee chocolate chip cookies. So this recipe is actually from Tasty and I really wanted to make it because it's the 2-day cookie in Tasty's 2-minute versus 2-hour versus 2-day chocolate chip cookies video, and I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to try it. So I'm gonna start it today. And I will also be making a 2-minute cookie later in the video. So this is where my video got cut out, but the first thing you do in these cookies is you make toffee. So here are the ingredients and the first step, which you don't see me do in the video. Okay, so everything has melted, and I'm just checking for grainy lumps or separating fat, and I feel the grainy lumps when I'm stirring, and I kind of see the butter start to separate. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water, a couple splashes. So I'm just gonna do a little bit first, and then if I need to, I'll add more. Ooh. So as I said earlier, I'm gonna be using the time to see when to finish. So I'm about halfway through the 10-15 minute period. And right now the toffee is kind of starting to bubble and it's really thick and it smells amazing. So I'm just going to keep going and let it cook and kind of stir it around. And then I'm going to refer to the video to get a visual of how it should look like at the end, so I'll know if I'm doing it right. And then I will let you guys know how it looks at the end and pour it and stuff. Okay, so I'm getting a bit nervous just because I can see it's getting way darker than it should be. And I feel almost as if it's burning, so maybe I should finish. I guess I have like a powerful stove or something. And it looks way darker than I expected. And I don't know if it's my lighting or something, but it's also still like bubbling, which I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. And it's getting pretty dark in color, so I think I'm just going to stop and pour it out. I don't know how it's supposed to taste, so I can't taste it and try it. It's not quite burnt, but it's still getting way darker than I think it should be. It doesn't smell super burnt. Oh, now there's steam coming. Great. All right, let me turn the camera so you can see. I'm really worried actually. Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I burned the toffee. So I'm gonna start over, and I luckily have more ingredients, but I'm gonna start over. Okay, so take 2. I'm gonna turn on the heat, and so now I'm not going to rely on time, I'm just going to rely on how it looks. So it should be kind of a golden brownish, and I'm going to hopefully get that. I'm going to keep the color that it is on the video. I'm going to just like keep it in front of me, so I'll constantly be looking for that. And then hopefully it should be better this time. Okay, so this is what the toffee looks like. It has this golden brown color, and I have to get it into the freezer as quickly as possible, so I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so I finished the toffee. I put it in the freezer, and it's supposed to sit there until you're ready to use, or about 30 minutes. So that was kind of a difficult process, but we did it. So now it's time to start making the cookie dough. So clearly I had a lot of technical difficulties because my video cut out again, but the first thing you're gonna do for the cookie dough is you're going to go back to the stove and you're going to make some brown butter. And basically that means you're going to take a cup of butter and you're going to melt it in a small pot, and you're just going to keep cooking it until it gets a nice dark brown color, which you'll see shortly in the video. Okay, so I took it off the heat because it got this really nice dark brown color. At first, I think it takes a while to melt, and you see it's yellow and golden, and then it just gets progressively darker, and then it goes really quickly, so then you have to pay a lot of attention. But it's kind of like, so there's a layer of bubbles sort of on top, so it's hard to see, so you have to almost constantly be stirring it when you get closer to the end, so that you'll make sure that you don't miss it and you don't burn it. So I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add some ice cubes to it to help it cool down, so that when you're adding it to the butter, it won't burn the sugar or cook the eggs or anything. So like, as you can see, it's this dark brown color. It almost looks like coffee, and when it kind of settles, you don't really see the color as much with the bubbles, so you have to move it over to see it better. Okay, so in the video it doesn't say how many ice cubes to add, but he didn't have any more bubbles at the top after he was done. So right now, after the second one, I still have bubbles. So I'm gonna keep going until I don't have anything left. This one is still kind of melting, so I'll kind of let that finish. But this looks beautiful, and like my sister said, that it smelled really good. Yeah, so the bubbles are still there, but it's not as many, so I might only need one more ice cube, because my ice cubes are pretty large actually, so I just want to make sure I don't really water it down. Yeah, so I'm just gonna add one more. Gonna stir it and let it combine. I think that should be enough, but we'll see. The finished product for the brown butter, and I'm really excited. I also scraped down the sides a little, kind of to get some more flavor. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, so now I've added everything in, and I'm just going to combine it. So I'm gonna I'm just gonna use a whisk actually, and just combine everything. But you can also use like a spoon for this part because of just the dry ingredients. Okay, so I have combined everything together. There's still some bigger pieces, but I'm also going to use the white ingredients when we add those in to help incorporate that better. So next we're gonna pour the brown butter mixture into the sugar mixture and mix until combined. So here's my brown butter mixture. Looks great. I'm hoping it's not burnt. Like the bottom of the pan is like a little burnt, but I didn't think this was, so. And we're also going to, and it says don't worry if it looks separated, so I'm just gonna use this spatula to combine it better. Okay, so I've combined it. It looks great. It's kind of thick, but it's like liquidy, and it has a nice dark brown color. It smells amazing. Let me just show you guys. I'm gonna mix it so you can kind of see the texture, and it smells amazing, and it's all combined. So I'm just gonna move on. So the next step is to whisk together the eggs and vanilla. So there's 2 large eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and I did that earlier, so I could just put that in right now. So just pour into the sugar and butter mixture and whisk until glossy and smooth. Oof, looks good. So I'm just gonna move my spatula and bring in my whisk. Okay, so I combined it. It looks super glossy and smooth. There's still some like little sugar lumps, but I think that's okay, because that's also gonna keep being added in as we add in ingredients. So let me just show you guys. This is what it looks like. It's a little bit reflective, so you can't really see, so I'm just gonna use a whisk, and there you go. It's this gorgeous smooth, and honestly the fact that it's reflective, I'm assuming, is a good thing because it's supposed to be glossy. Okay, so the next step is to add the flour and fold with a rubber spatula. I'm gonna use a wooden one, I don't have a rubber one, until the dough has no visible flour streaks. So right now it kind of is more liquidy, but adding the flour will make it more like a dough, like cookie dough. So here is my flour. I'm just gonna add that. Whoa, oh, so it's 2.5 cups of flour. Just all purpose. And we're gonna combine it. Okay, so I have combined it all, and this is what it looks like. This is the cookie dough, and it's definitely way darker of a color than regular chocolate chip cookies, but that's because of the brown butter. But it smells incredible because of the brown butter, so I'm really, really excited. And the next step is to remove the toffee from the freezer. So you're gonna break it into chunks so that it will fit into a gallon zip top bag, and then double bag the toffee, seal both bags, and then break the toffee in small pieces with a rolling pin. I don't have a rolling pin, I'll use like a bottle or something, but yeah. So I took the toffee out. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like frozen over. So I'm thinking about kind of maybe running it with hot water, but I'm not sure. Or maybe I'll just let it sit for a little bit. So yeah, oh, it does break easily. So yeah, so I just break it apart like this. These pieces will definitely fit into a Ziploc bag. I'm just trying to get them a little smaller so that it'll be less work to break them apart later. Okay, so I've broken up the toffee. I have my 2 Ziploc bags here. So I actually broke them up into kind of small pieces, I guess like from what they wanted, but I was surprised at how easily it was breaking, so I was just kind of doing it to make it easier. So I'm just gonna add this all here, double bag it, and crush it. Okay, so I have all my toffee sealed up. I'm putting it on a cutting board, and I'm honestly just using my cooking spray as the rolling pin in this case because I use it as rolling pin when I make dough and stuff. So I'm just gonna crush it, and then I'm just using the bottom because that's easier to me than the top. I'm just kind of going through and breaking it apart into small pieces. So I'll get back to you when I'm done. Okay, I finished with my toffee. I've already taken it out of the first bag, but I kind of got some small pieces, and we're gonna put those into the batter along with the chocolate. And also I tried the toffee and it tasted really good, and it was both like crunchy and chewy and sweet and salty, which is so good. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so I'm gonna chop the chocolate, and for the chocolate you actually are not using chips, you're using chunks. So I have 2 things I'm gonna use for chocolate. So first I got this at the store. I know it's mirrored, but it's a premium baking bar, so it's chocolate specifically for baking, and it's 56% cacao, and there's 4 ounces. Basically you need 50 to 70% cacao, and you need 6 ounces of it. So I saw this and I was like, this is really cool, but there was only 1 box, so I'm gonna use this box. Then I also got just regular Ghirardelli 60% chocolate. I'm going to use that too. So this is about 100 grams. Sorry, about 3.5 ounces. So I'm going to use just under half of this so that I can get 6 ounces total of both. And then I'm going to chop them up and put them into the batter along with the toffee. Okay, so I have chopped up the chocolate. It's pretty big chunks, I would say, big to medium size. So now we're going to add the chocolate and the toffee into our cookie dough. So, there we go. Yum. Toffee straight from the bag. And just fold it in and evenly distribute it within the batter. Okay, so our dough is finished. So it looks like this. I hope you can see it. It looks amazing. You can't see the toffee from afar, but there are toffee chunks in there, which is really cool. So now you're going to arrange it on baking sheets. So I have a tray with parchment paper. So using an ice cream scoop, you're going to arrange it and make it like 3 baking cookies. So technically the recipe says you can make 9, but theirs are like huge. I'm gonna see if I can try to make 12 out of this, and they're still gonna be pretty big. So yeah, and then after that you're gonna put it in the fridge for at least 36 hours or 2 days. So let's get scooping. Okay, so I have scooped everything out and it looks like this. So I was able to fit 11 cookies. And they're like pretty big and pretty close together, but I'm hoping that it'll still taste good. I'm pretty sure that when they bake, they're gonna combine, but I'll just cut them apart. So now we're just going to plastic wrap them and put them in the fridge for at least 36 hours. I'm gonna come back in 2 days and finish this video. So see you guys in 2 days, or by the power of editing, 2 seconds. So it is now 2 days later, and here are the cookies. I just took them out of the fridge, and I didn't have plastic wrap, so I took off the aluminum foil. So the instructions say to preheat the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. That's happening right now. And they also said to use 2 baking sheets, so they would have more space between them. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit 2 baking sheets into the oven at once, and if not, I'll just bake it twice. So I'm going to get my other one that I've already lined with parchment paper. And this one's a little smaller, so I have 11 cookies. So I'm gonna put 5 here and have 6 here. Just arrange it, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So here are what the cookies look like. So I have my 2 trays here. I'm really excited because I have a feeling that they're gonna be great. I love how the cookie dough looks right now. So yeah, so now I just have to wait for my oven. So now I just have to wait for my oven to preheat, and then I'm gonna put these in. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the oven to preheat and, you know, while everything is baking, I'm going to make the 2-minute cookies that actually are not really 2 minutes long. They cook for like 2 minutes, but it's like, I think there's like 7-minute cook time or something, which is a ripoff, obviously. Anyways, so we're gonna start with a large microwave safe plate with butter. So that's like where we're gonna put everything. I'm just gonna use a plastic plate. So the ingredients we need are 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of egg. So you're gonna like beat an egg and then take from there, because I guess you don't need the whole egg. 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, an 1/8 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 5.5 tablespoons of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So I'm going to measure out my ingredients and get my media mixing bowl and my I guess like baking plate thing, the place where I'm gonna put the cookie. I'm gonna let it cook, and then I'll get back to you. Actually, before I make the 2-minute cookie, my oven has just preheated, so I'm going to put the bigger tray in, and then if I can fit both, I'll fit both. And then we're gonna bake it for 18 to 20 minutes. So here's my tray. You guys can't see this, but okay. So I'm just gonna bake them in 2 batches, and I just put it in and set the timer. So I will be back soon to check up on these. But first, let's make the quick 2-minute cookie. That's not really 2 minutes. Alright, so I folded in the chocolate chips, and also the first batch of cookies is finished. They're huge and they're really soft, but I read the instructions and it said that they're supposed to be really soft at the beginning and then they're gonna set. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them with some coarse salt because they said to do that right away. And then I'm gonna put the next batch in. Oh, and here is what the cookies look like. Huge, and they're soft, but I tried like a bit of the edges and it tastes so good. So I'm gonna sprinkle with salt and then put these in and finish the 2-minute ones. So for the 2-minute cookies, I'm just using a plastic plate, and I'm just gonna put this into a mound at the center of the plate. Here's my mound, and I'm supposed to top it with some remaining chocolate chips. It's because it's going to expand, I guess, and like the chocolate won't be evenly distributed, but I have a lot of chocolate, so I guess we'll just have to find out. So I have my cookie ready to go, and I'm going to put it in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. So when I was looking at the video and the picture, the cookie looked really like wide and large, so it expanded a lot, but it also looked really pale, almost like it wasn't cooked. So I'm hoping it will be cooked and still tastes really good and like a cookie. So we'll see in a minute. So I'll be back in a minute. So here is the 2-minute cookie. It looks really light, but I checked with the toothpick and it actually is cooked through. So I'm gonna let it cool and then I'm gonna try it. So I'm excited. It's pretty big for a cookie, like just as these are, but it's also thicker. So I'm really interested. We'll see, I guess. So, tastes good. It's kind of like a cookie, but not quite. I think if you ever really, really want a chocolate chip cookie, it's a great thing to make. But I think it's worth it to take the time to make a real cookie, just a basic like 2-hour one. But this is good. So yeah. Okay, so I've waited a few hours and just to make sure the cookie's fully cool. I finished both batches. So now I'm going to try one of them. They're huge. So I'm gonna take the smallest one from this tray, the first batch. And this is the smallest one. It's huge. I'm gonna take a piece because I just know I can't eat this whole thing. And look, it opens like this. It looks great. So I have some chocolate and some toffee in here and the edges, which are crispy. So we're gonna try it. It tastes really good. The toffee makes it like salty and the chocolate gives the sweetness. It reminds me a lot of the chocolate chunk cookie from Starbucks. And I'm assuming it's probably because I use like brown butter, but this is saltier because of the toffee. But yeah, it's really good. So I'm sure the question you all want me to answer is it worth doing this whole thing and making, like, spending 2 days for these cookies? Honestly, they're really good, but I expected it to be like the best cookie I've ever tasted. It's not the best, but maybe it's because they are sort of familiar. I think these are great to make in the winter with like some tea or hot chocolate or something, and if you have time. It was kind of a fun experience. Just don't make a lot of them because they're really filling. But I honestly feel like if you want cookies, you could just go to a regular 2-hour chocolate chip cookie. Just make one of those recipes, and that would be great. Or even the 2-minute one, because those are just pretty basic, but they're really good. Or if you want something with a richer taste, you can, instead of using butter, just cook it and make brown butter. I think that's a great way to do it. But yeah, honestly, I think you could also just bake these after you finish making the dough. You don't have to put in the fridge. The reason you put them in the fridge is kind of so they have a richer taste, but they do taste really good. And I'm sure they taste good anyways if you bake them right away. So yeah, I would say this was a really fun experience. So I have the remains of my 2-minute cookie here, which is a lot more reminiscent to a regular cookie or like even a scone. I have my 2-day cookie here, and I would say this was a successful experiment. I had a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video, and check out all our other videos. We have a bunch of interviews and recipe videos, so check that out. And let me know if you make these cookies. They're really good. And make sure to follow our TikTok to see the 2-hour chocolate chip cookie, which is like our bonus content for just a basic recipe. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!